if you want to talk about protecting elections, maybe my Republican friends ought to start telling the truth about the last election. And let me remind them that the leader of their party tried to submit fraudulent slates of electors to steal the last election.
Something I've heard that doesn't seem to be being covered are the Epstein files. Files were released, and like Donald Trump's sort of all over this, right? There are pictures of him with Jeffrey Epstein. He's taken multiple plane flights with Epstein with young girls on board. He is on call logs with Epstein. But yeah, y'all might want to look at that because that's highly disturbing.
Yes, please, more of this. Ditch the gloves. Name each and every single one of his 34 felony counts if you can before they cut you off.
They found him guilty not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4, not 5, not 6. I could keep going on, but 34 counts were given. So the opinions of these people who were not juries is not what we do in this country. In this country, we have a system in which jurors decide who is found guilty. And if you have a problem with that, you go to the appellate court, which the last time I checked, he was raising money so that he could go to the appellate court and appeal his decision, and they will have the final say so. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
In case you missed it, let me fill you in on what both parties were up to today. Well, Republicans seemingly getting mixed signals from their cult leader who allegedly knows nothing about Project 2025, but still disagrees with parts of it. I don't know how that works. Well, several of his closest allies spoke at different venues, echoing the very promises made in said doctrine. You know, Christian nationalism, theocracy, etc. All while thanking the very architects of the project.
Some will say now that I am calling America a Christian nation. And so I am. And some will say that I am advocating Christian nationalism. And so I do.
And I want to thank especially Kevin Roberts and all of the Heritage Foundation for 50 years of incredible work on conservative policy.
So we're always grateful. And it's good to see you. And thank you to Heritage for inviting us here, giving us this opportunity, and for all the scholarship that they do here that really serves as a guidepost for a lot of the public policy we choose to make.
Meanwhile, Democrats took to the House floor for a hearing in which, wait for this, the subject of protecting free and fair elections was brought up, to which top Democrat Jim McGovern was on hand to remind his Republican colleagues of, well, their blatant hypocrisy.
About the last election. And let me remind them that the leader of their party tried to submit fraudulent slates of electors to steal the last election. That's voter fraud, my friends. That's what voter fraud looks like. And my friends on the other side of the aisle said, not a thing. Not a thing. After court after court after court upheld the fact that we had a free and fair election. But the former president actually submitted fraudulent slates of electors to try to change the result of the last election.
And this is the energy required for what will be a grueling few months ahead. Because make no mistake, Republicans, well, they've never had the gloves on, nor have they any morals. They'll get in front of the camera on Fox News and call Kamala Harris a DEI hire.
At the end of the day, I don't think they'll go there. I don't think they can. They're in a box. They are in a box where they've got to choose between a mentally incompetent president and a DEI vice president, and they know that they're going to be facing a problem either way.
And what's needed in response is this from Jasmine Crockett.
I know that you are wont to read a loser when a loser says a thing, so I'm just going to let you comment on what you think about those words.
Again, you know what? I want people to listen to them. If you just listen to what they say, it will tell you everything that you need to know. Number one, you can obviously see that he's ignorant as all get out. And number two, you can see that he wishes he had half the competency of Vice President Kamala Harris. Don't talk to me about what a DEI hire looks like, because we know that you have never, ever engaged in diversity, equity, or inclusion when it came to your office. So we know that you don't know anything about hiring diversity diversity. But let me tell you one of the real facts about diversity in this country. We're missing out on trillions of dollars in GDP, and they can go and check the receipts if they want to, because we have the rogue governors coming out of the state of Texas that are anti-DEI. We've got the rogue governor in Florida and so forth. And so what they need to do is get over their incompetence and just try to get on our level and decide that they're going to compete and start to come up with actual policies instead of going after people because of how they look or how they were born. Instead, they need to focus on taking care of the American people, which means that you're going to take care of people other than just white folk. It means that you take care of brown, Hispanic, Asian, and everyone.
That's the energy that has to be echoed across every single member of the Democratic Party. Because every hearing is another opportunity to remind the American people of who is actually working for the rights of American people and not so much for the rights of American appliances.
I rise today in opposition not only to this rule, but the bills that it advances. And I have to say that I am amazed daily by the debates that I hear in this chamber and in our committees, and outraged that the GOP is using the floor to advance a hateful agenda, to take away voting rights, and to advance insane legislation. Because 1 week after we celebrated this great nation's independence, we are here today as they're putting forward legislation to protect our kitchen appliances. That's right, folks. Running bills on the floor entitled "The Freedom of Refrigerators" and "Dignity for Dishwashers." They're more concerned about our dishwashers than they are about democracy.
The bills today show once again that Republicans are more interested in division and taking us backwards and turning back the clock on reproductive freedom, on voting rights, on lowering prices, on holding big corporations accountable. On all these things and more, they want to drag us back. That's what their party now stands for. And that's why we're wasting time with more misguided MAGA junk instead of working together to get things done for the American people.
Because Republicans have proven time and time again that they're experts in smoke and mirrors, and they'll do everything possible to shield Trump's disgraceful past and present from being heard on the floor. We all recall how action on the floor last month was stalled after Jim McGovern listed off the criminal charges against former President Donald Trump into the record. And we recall how Republicans responded by reprimanding the representative for simply stating facts.
We have a presumptive nominee for president facing 88 felony counts, and we're being prevented from even acknowledging it. These are not alternative facts. These are real facts. A candidate for president of the United States is on trial for sending a hush money payment to a porn star to avoid a sex scandal during his 2016 campaign, and then fraudulently disguising those payments in violation of the law. He's also charged with conspiring to overturn the election. He's also charged with stealing classified information, and a jury has already found him liable for rape in a civil court. And yet, in this Republican-controlled House, it's okay to talk about the trial, but you have to call it a sham.
We take down his words.
It's okay to say the jury is rigged.
Mr. Speaker, I demand that his words be taken down.
It's okay to say the court is corrupt.
Gentlemen will suspend.
But not Trump is corrupting the rule of law.
So yeah, we need more of this. Less bickering amidst the party, and let's get behind an agenda, because democracy is on the ballot.
Has spoken to the president over the weekend. I have spoken with him extensively. He made clear then, and he has made clear since, that he is in this race. The matter is closed. He had reiterated that this morning. He has reiterated that to the public. Joe Biden is our nominee. He is not leaving this race. He is in this race, and I support him. Now, what I think is critically important right now is that we focus on what it takes to win in November.
Not in Trump, somebody who wants to take away a woman's right to control her body, who thinks that climate change is a hoax, and it was turned his back on the working class of this country. And on the other side, you have Joe Biden, first president in American history to walk a picket line. We have put more money into fighting climate change than any time in the history of this country. We're rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure. But this I do want to say, and where I am critical of the Biden campaign. It's one thing to talk about your record over the last 3.5 years, which is a strong record. But the American people are hurting. 60% of our people live in paycheck to paycheck. 25% of elderly people are trying to get by on $15,000 a year or less. The American people want an agenda for the next 4 years that speaks to the needs of the working class of this country. And frankly, I don't think the president has brought that agenda forward. He has got to say, I am prepared to take on corporate greed, massive income and wealth inequality, and stand with the working class of this country. He does that, he's going to win and win big.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.